Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Today we will be discussing lesson 2, properties of equality. Our objective for today will be by the end of this lesson, students should be able to use properties of equality to write equivalent equations. Here we start. Now, let's start by this example. This equation 4 plus 8 equals 12. Now, if we add 5 to both sides of the equation, then the result will be what? 4 plus 8 plus 5 equals 17, and 12 plus 5 equals 17. Here, if we add, so we add the same number, if you can not with me, we add the same number to both sides of the equation, and the equation is still correct. Here, in the second one, 4 plus 8 equals 12. If we add 3 to the left side of the equation and add 5 to the right side of the equation, of course the equation sides are separated by equal sign. So 4 plus 8 plus 3 equals 15, and 12 plus 5 equals 17. So we added different numbers, then the equation is wrong. Here, 4 plus 8 equals 12. Divide the left side of the equation by 2, which means 4 plus 8 equals 12. Divide 2 equals 6. And multiply the right side of the equation by 2. So 12 multiply 2 equals 24. So because we have the same number, but we used different operations. In the left side, we used divide, and on the right side, we used multiplication. So the equation is not correct. Now, in 4 plus, the last one, 4 plus 8 equals 12. Subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. So this side, the left side, will become 8, and the right side will become 8. So we have the equation still correct. What we understand from this, if we add or subtract or multiply or divide both sides of the equation by the same number, then the equation will stay correct. This is what we call the properties of the equalities. Now here we have another example. Here, example of the addition property of equality. Here, now let's summarize. Addition property of equality states that the two sides of the equation stay equal when the same amount is added to both sides of the equation. As you can see with me, as you were aware of this, the same amount are added, the same amount is added to both sides, then the equation still stay equal, or both sides stay equal. So this the same can be applied to subtraction property of equality. If we subtract the same number from both sides, it's correct, and same for multiplication and addition. Here the equation can be represented, the equation can be represented by PAM balance. As you can see here, we have 5 and plus 3. They are balanced with 8. So I add here 2 units. I need to add 2 units on the right side. Here we have a question. If y minus 12 equals 30, does y minus 12 plus 12 equals 30 plus 12? If you can see here that we added the same number, the same amount, which is 12, to both sides of the equality, so it stay correct. It stay correct. Yes, the same number, 12, was added to both sides of the equation. If 4y equals 20, does 4y divide 4 equals 20 divide 5? Oh, you can see we divided by different sides, both sides by different numbers. Here we divide by 4, and here we divide by 5. So 4y divide 4 is not equal to 20 divide 5, because both sides of the equation are divided by different numbers, not by the same number. Here I will explain just question 3 and question 5. And I will go also to number 1. But I start by number 3. If 23 plus 37 equals 60, does 23 plus 37 plus 9 equals 60 plus 9? If you can see, here the original equation, and I added 9 to both sides. So I add the same number to both sides. So it's still correct. It's still correct. Why? Because the same amount is added to both sides of the equality, which is addition property of equality. In number 5, we have 35 minus 7 equals 28. It's correct equation. Does 35 minus 7 divide 7 equals 28 divide 4? We divide both sides, but not by the same number. So it's not. Number 1, a pan balance shows 7 plus 5 equals 12. If 4 units are removed from one side, what needs to be done to other side to keep the pan balanced? To keep the equation correct, what happened to the first side should be done to the second side. Because we removed 4 units from the first side, we need to remove 4 units from the second side. Here, from questions, this question from 6 to 9, tell which property of equality was used. Let me take number 7 for example. 3t equals 20. 3t divide 2 equals 20 divide 2. I divided both sides of the equality by what? By 2. So both sides of the equality were divided by 2, the same amount. So it's division. It's division. Here both sides were multiplied by 5. So it's multiplication property of equality. Let me explain. More questions? Look, I like this kind of questions. John wrote that 5 plus 5 equals 10. Then he wrote 5 plus 5 plus n equals 10 plus n. Are the equations John wrote equivalent? Yes, because here the same amount, which is n is a variable which represents any value. So, but it's added the same value, the same number, the same amount, which is n, to both sides. So it's correct. Last but not least, let me discuss with you question number 16. Which equation is equivalent to n plus 4 equals 11? N plus 4 equals 11, yes. In the first side, in the first choice, he multiplied the first side by 2, but he didn't multiply the second side by anything. So it's wrong. In the second example, the second choice, he multiplied the first side by 2, but he divided the second side by 2. So it's not. In the third one, he multiplied the first side by 2, but he multiplied the second side by 4. Oh, it's wrong. In the last one, he multiplied both sides, if you can see, by 2. So as you can see here, we multiply both sides by the same number or the same amount. So it is correct. So the answer is D. Thank you very much with Mr. Muad JB.